Hello and welcome back to That Old Shop. My name is Mike Scott. Today I'm working on getting some machines ready to be moved, getting some skids built underneath them, some different blocking, things to hold the skids on. So I'll show you what I've done so far. On the lathe here I made these skids out of 2x4s, double those up, and the feet, they're just 1/2-inch bolts, fine thread, for adjusting the lathe to level it. So I just bored a hole in the top 2x4 so those would set down into the hole on those. So when I was ready to put those under there, I needed to lift it up. And I thought I could just use this Johnson bar. With my wife's help, my wife could maybe put the skids underneath there. But the Johnson bar, the way the frame is, the stand is made, is just angle iron, and I had to pry on the bottom edge of the angle iron at each end to try to lift it up, and that was just not working out. So then I thought I'd get smart and I made this block and cut a groove in it, doubled up 2x, put that underneath the angle frame so I could pry up with the Johnson bar with that far enough to get the skids under there. Just wasn't enough room in my shop, and the Johnson bar just couldn't get it high enough even with this block under there. So I had to abandon that whole idea, and I'll grab the camera and wheel you around here and show you what I did come up with. So what I came up with was strapping this 4x6 onto the side of the stand underneath the chip tray, and I'm using a floor jack underneath there to jack it up. The ratchet strap is on there just to hold the 4x6 on there from falling off. It was kind of prying out as I was lifting with the jack. So when the pipe rollers are underneath there, that's how I'm going to move this machine, with a bunch of just pipes. I'm going to slide them underneath, jack it up, slide those underneath there. And the reason I have this blocking in here and here is because these skids would have a tendency to bow up, and it would make it difficult to move the machine then. So I put that blocking in there. It's not attached on the top, it's just screwed to the skids themselves. And then these little D-rings here are on there to wrap a ratchet strap around the machine just to hold the skids up, because they're not actually, the skids are not attached to the machine in any way. The machine's just sitting on them, just the weight of it is sitting. Moving on from the lathe to the mill here, I had made these skids a while ago, and my wife helped me get those underneath there as well. I used what material I had, 2x8 material, and the base isn't the same height. You know, there's some relieved areas in certain parts of the base, so it's hard to just roll the base, the whole machine, on some rollers, pipe rollers like that. So I had to make some skids for this machine as well. And that center block there, and I'll take the camera off the stand and show you a close-up of it. But that center block and even the end blocks and each skid is where is not recessed. And I have to put this blocking around to hold the machine centered on the skids. These skids are attached to the machine right here with these long screws. Screws kind of like this, but longer ones. So I won't have to put any strap or anything to help hold those to the machine. There's some screws to hold that on. I'll show you the close-up of the skids, get the block screwed on, and film that for you. Okay, you can see right here where the base is relieved right here. Doesn't go down as far as the corners or the center parts here. So that's why I have some blocks just on that. And then these are going to go up and then trap that all the way around there. Some construction screws and then some ledger locks I'll get in there as well. And then some ledger locks up front here. So the skid under the machine, blocking around the machine, and bolts going through the machine base into the skids. So I had to do a little wood carving on this one. There's a boss on the back of the base with a threaded hole. Looks like an eye bolt hole for when they work on the machine, build the machine. And I had to clip the corner because I'm so close to the corner and I'm not ready to move this machine yet out away from its position. It'd be out into the shop then. But I'll get this put on. And a ledger lock back there. So that's what it's going to look like with one pipe roller under there. And I'll have to work other ones under there and scoot it out of this room. Out through the man door. I got to take the table off on the mill. It's too wide to go through the door. Out into my, I have a wood platform out there. I'll show you that, and a ramp and everything. And then I have to drag it up some ramps into the back of my trailer. Here's another machine. I already had some skids underneath it. And I did make some 4x4 skids for this. Have to get some heftier screws in here yet though. But this machine had an odd shaped base. It was narrower on the front here and wider in the back. So I had to make it wider overall. The centers of the skids, the runners we'll call them. And then I had to put this 2x across here to catch the machine base. Because like I say, it was wider back there. But I'll bring the camera up and show you. And he clipped some pretty good angles on the front of those 4x4s to get the pipe rollers started. Drag the motor out of the way. You can see how the machine base is narrow here, widens out here. And that is that Grove bandsaw that I have slightly apart, and I have to get some work done to it to get it put back together. This machine over here, the 612 Boyer Schultz surface grinder, I just have a cart underneath there just so I can move it around and clean it still. I still have even more work to do on that as far as repositioning the machine to get the work done. And then I'll make some skids for that machine, so I can roll that out. It's a little too heavy to two-wheel it out, hand truck it out. From here up is a lot of cast. The back is cast. The stand is a thick sheet metal, and it's still pretty heavy, but I'm going to put skids on it and just skid it out in some rollers. Take my time with it. There's the shop dogs. Hey, what are you guys doing? Taking a nap? Sleeping on the job? Okay, so the lathe is ready to go. The mill is ready to go. Oops. The bandsaw is ready to go. And they're all going to have to come out this way towards me. That yellow bench there is on wheels, so that can be shoved over more. But it's got to come across that floor. Make a 90 here. Head towards this man door. So yeah, fun, fun, fun. Like I say, that table on the mill has to come off. I took that off to get it in here. Swung the head down, of course. Lowered it, got a lower center of gravity. But yeah, it's all gonna have to go out this man door, down this little wooden ramp, out onto this, we'll call it a wood pad. And I back my trailer up over here. That is a big gate that swings open, and I can back my trailer up right here. Then that steel plate has got to lay on the ramps, because they're just angle iron ramps. It's a car trailer, open car trailer. And then yeah, got to drag them up there with a winch. Hopefully I'll have my winch all done. That is a project over here on the yellow bench. Right here. That's a Ramsey. I have a video on that from when I first took it apart. Got to make one little part for it, and then I can finish putting it back together and get it mounted on the trailer. I'm going to mount it on a receiver that goes underneath the back of your truck. I'm going to mount, I have an extra one of those that I bought just for this. I'm going to mount that receiver onto the front of my trailer and mount this trailer, mount this winch onto there, so I can take it off and put it on the back of the tow vehicle if I want to, or even on the front of the tow vehicle. I have a receiver underneath the front of my vehicle as well. So yeah, lots of receivers. Okay, well that's about it. Just working on getting some machines prepped, ready to move out. Hopefully sooner than later. Okay, see ya. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Do all that good stuff. Thanks. Bye.